Amazing.
Awesome. Well, hi, Nicole. How are you? Welcome to our meeting.
Good.
I'm glad you could
Good to
make
meet
it.
you.
You too.
Yeah.
Are you in
Um,
like the middle of moving boxes and everything? Because you're going to
um,
Germany, right?
yeah, we're moving. We're selling our house on March 29th. So my
Nice.
boyfriend is outside right now cleaning out the garage and throwing a bunch of stuff in a dumpster. And I might have to get up at some point to let some guy in that's supposed to buy some of our like old shingles. So if I get up, sorry.
It's okay.
No need to apologize. All good.
Yeah, because I just had my own recent move, so I get
Okay.
it. Moving is never a dull moment.
Yeah, it's a lot, so we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
One
Awesome.
step at a time. Where did
Yeah.
you move from? Did you do like a big move, Talia, or just like within the same city?
Well, I went from New York to South Jersey, so that's like 93 miles. So that's pretty
Okay.
significant. I don't really
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
South Jersey like that, so I'm exploring and adjusting. So it's different.
Nice.
Yeah. I have like a mini move in a way, I guess, because we have we've been in the UK for over 6 months now, so we're heading home back to Canada shortly within the next month. And so I'm like trying to organize luggage. It's just like you only could take so much on the plane. So how do we bring everything there?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, thanks for joining. Sorry, because I put the link in the email. It was my link, and so it's going to show my name on your thing.
So
But
I'm
please,
renaming it. There you go.
amazing. There we go,
Awesome.
Sandy.
Nice to meet you,
Nice
Sandy.
to meet you too.
Very nice. Did you go to Pace University? Because I
I
see that in
teach
the
there. I
background.
teach there. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh,
Cool.
nice.
You're right in the Bronx, right?
Yeah, well, I just moved from the Bronx.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I'm familiar with the area. I've been in the Bronx my entire life. So I'm a Bronx girl through and through. So yeah.
I
How long have
teach,
you been teaching at Pace?
it's been 10 years now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very cool. Do you like, what are you teaching exactly?
I'm in education, so I train all folks who want to become teachers and special ed teachers.
Nice.
So
That's
yeah, I
pretty
mean, it's great to
cool.
put a face to, all the things
Yeah.
go right. I feel like I
Yes.
know, so
So
much
do
about
I, because
all
I'm
of it.
like commenting with you guys all the time and reading what you're writing. And then it's like, it's
Yeah.
nice to see who's behind the words.
Yes. And that's what inspired me. I was like, why don't we do a mixer? Because I know we're reading, stuff and it just makes it more organic and more natural. So
Absolutely.
thanks for being a part of it. This
Yeah.
is so
Yeah,
cool.
great idea. Thank you.
For
Yeah.
sure. Well, there were a bunch of others, but with the time difference, I mean, you never know. And then life happens too for people.
Yeah.
Normally, Erin would be here, but because she's not a morning person, I read her most like recent article. I don't know with the time difference if she'll have caught on. She may still actually be sleeping, so we'll see.
And the clocks changed here in the US this morning. I think
Yeah,
in UK it's next
exactly. So you
week,
guys,
right?
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. That's why I was confused. I was like, oh, I thought it was 6. It's actually 5 o'clock my time here. But I was convinced it was 6. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh, goodness. I'm glad I didn't miss it. Because last time I was also 5 minutes late. So it's like, I can't be late this time.
No, but it was cool because I didn't even know. I thought when daylight savings happened, it happened simultaneously for everyone. So
Yeah.
when Megan pointed that out, I was like, "Oh, really? That's pretty cool. I learned something new today."
Yeah, when
I
we
kind of wish they just got rid of it though, to be honest. It's like
Yeah.
it just makes my brain hurt and then it's like this big adjustment twice a year. Like, can we just keep it as is?
Yeah. Although I feel it more so in the fall because then it's like you get used
Mhm.
to, the extra hour and then it's like you pull back and then when you wake up, it's like, oh, what happened to my life? So
I
Yeah.
wonder if like the rationale for doing it still exists. I think back in the day it was to like conserve energy and but now I don't know if it makes a difference, but yeah.
I don't think it really does. I feel like there's like petitions and things that people are like, drop it already. Oh, well, we'll see. I'm sure we'll get like a few stragglers in here and there, but I'm gonna just pop in the chat because we had like a couple topics for today, and obviously we can expand on these or talk about more than this. But we were brainstorming like what are some themes for what we can talk about on the call today. So what do you think, Delia? Should we just dive in and then we'll see whoever else joins us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go for
Awesome.
it. Just give me 1 second. I'm just gonna I'm gonna pour my tea in my cup. Be right
Yes,
back.
of course. Do you guys need anything as well before we kick it off? Okay, awesome. Just so you know, Sandy, we are recording. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I mean,
sounds good.
when I started writing, I actually put my name, but then I realized as I was trying to write stuff, and I'm kind of fresh to a lot of things going on in life. It just takes one Google search for someone to show up in my office. Like everything's out there about where I am, and so I was like,
that's so true.
I'll wait like, a few months or, until I get used to it. And even with the content before before I flip back to I don't mind it, but I just feel a little vulnerable right now.
Yeah.
No, I know what you mean.
Go ahead,
I didn't put
Nicole.
my blogging on my LinkedIn page until I'd had it for like 9 months. So I just did it because somebody was like, oh, if you put something on LinkedIn, you'll get freelance jobs. So I was like, well, I guess I will. But I mean, I have 2 books out there already. So like, if people search my name, I was just trying to get my name to be on the first page of Google when you search my name, because there's like 3 other people with the same name as me. So I wanted my website on the first page of Google when you search my name.
And are you successful? Is it there now?
Yeah, it's there
first
now.
page. Okay,
it's not the first one either, but I think
you'll get there.
Like progress.
Yeah. I think it's
you'll
like
get
Medium,
there.
and then my Twitter feed, then somebody else, and then my blog page.
Yeah.
And the other thing is there is no other Shobana Musti in the world. I'm the only one. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Fine,
I think that's like me. Like I'm not aware of anyone else with the same name as me. Although I don't know, maybe they do. I haven't searched in a while. But yeah, when you search my name, it's like just me. So I definitely get that feeling. So do you go by Sandy then, or do you prefer Shobana?
I mean, for us, Shobana is fine,
Okay. Sounds good. But yeah, I totally get that. I think a lot of people have talked about, the pros and cons of use your real name versus pen name. And to be honest, I don't think there's a right or wrong. Like I kind of get jealous sometimes that I don't have a pen name because there's certain pieces I would probably write that, wouldn't be associated with me personally. But because it's my personal name, I'm like, oh shoot, okay. And so I think it's fine either way. You don't ever have to change it to your real name if you don't feel like it.
Well, they're names of my 2 dogs in my life. So
yeah, it works. Like there's so many people with pen names, and I don't think it bothers the reader, to be honest.
No, I don't think so.
I think people just get a sense of like, okay, they have a different like persona. If anything, it's like the ones that are hard for me are the ones where it's like they have a flower and then they say like nothing about themselves, like because they're being really, really private. And I'm like, okay, well, I just don't have a read on the person, Right. So I think that one's tricky, but I think at least if you're like sharing a bit about yourself, even if it's pen name, I think it's totally fine.
Yeah, because at the end, people still want to connect to a human, as digital as we are. People still want that human connection and, feel related to and things of that nature. So it's cool. But I mean, hey, you can always make up a pen name. If you write something and you're like, oh, so I really want anybody to know that it's me, that could be a good time to make one up. Something that's relevant.
Yeah.
So
even I know some people that have 2 accounts on Medium. So they'll have like a pen name account and then they'll use their real name. Yeah. Yeah. There's a couple writers I follow that are like that. So it's like they do their more, I don't know, controversial pieces on one side, or they have like a different theme, right? Like if they write about very different things, instead of put it all under one umbrella, they'll kind of separate it out. So it's all whatever you feel like doing at the end. It's like one giant experiment, I feel.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's tons of ways.
Absolutely. So to kind of kick it off, I mean, we thought, it's Modern Women as a publication. So we're all about women, by women, for women. So we thought, let's honor March as Women's History Month and at least, have some sort of acknowledgement for the women in our life, for the women in our sphere. And so there isn't really like a deep intention with it, but just we thought we could chat about that today. I mean, I'm curious for each of you, like, have you, has it been like big in your sphere this month, just thinking about women's history and International Women's Day?
For me, I guess I'd say yeah, or at least maybe like when we initially spoke about it, I was like, who could I possibly, write this about or would want to, kind of like engage that conversation in. And then like I started reading this book called Reclaiming Your Community, from a woman. I mean, I want to say maybe like 15 years older than me, but we grew up in the same area, same community, literally like blocks away. But I just recently learned this. And I just like read her book and I was like, oh, wow, finally, somebody that can actually like identify with and like have a similar story. So I just thought like that was amazing. And I was like, oh, this could be a pretty cool like book review or just like an opinion piece. So I was thinking about doing that. And then, well, there was two, one on my mom and then one on the woman that I read the book on. So that was pretty cool. So I started brainstorming and writing. So that'll be out soon. But that was really cool. That was nice to have.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, I would say my mom as well. I mean, I wrote about that for International Women's Day, about my mom being just like this. I don't even know how she did it. Like 4 kids, single mom, business owner, just like definitely inspiring what women can do. And I think because I'm a mom now, I like extra have an appreciation for it. Like I remember so many days in like my first year of motherhood when I was actually understanding like what moms go through. And I'd say to my mom, I was like, you did this with 4 of us. Like, how is it even possible? So yeah, women are incredible for sure.
That's the thought I had today, this morning when I was reading a few pieces, like very powerful pieces. I was thinking, we're seeing so much of writing from women where we're pouring our hearts out and they're so empowering and powerful. And I don't know if it's just a male female thing, but I don't see as many pieces from men that can match that kind of openness and sharing. I'm sure they're out there, but they don't. And then the thought that came to my mind was, can you imagine if we all like got
Did you need something
and ran the world? We would do so much better.
Yeah.
Like even with COVID, they had these examples of countries that had women prime ministers or presidents who did so much better with the whole, responding to COVID than many other countries. And I was just thinking, I don't know if it's just men don't share as much or if it's just.
I feel like it's like, I think so much of it's society, culture, and not to generalize, because I feel like there's so many like caveats, right? Like every single statement could have like the same is true versus opposite is true. But it's interesting. There's a few male writers that I follow where I do find that they really do share their vulnerability, but I think you're right. Like it's not as common. And maybe that's just, so many men grow up, like I'm just thinking like total stereotypes. So it's not that this is true across the board, but those stereotypes of like men don't cry and, they gotta like shut themselves away. So it's interesting because I feel like gender is so interesting these days, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like, even gender itself is being dismantled in so many ways by society. But, I feel like traditional gender roles and expectations are also being dismantled, which I'm a fan of, right? Like, I think it is about becoming well-rounded humans. Like, I think about, for men, there's that opportunity to open up to their emotions and their vulnerability. And I feel like for women, to me, it's about like standing in our power and like reclaiming our truth and speaking out. Whereas traditionally, I feel like women have been almost trained in a way to be quieter, against stereotypes. But it's like each side of the equation is having to like balance it out in a way.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I don't know, that's what life is, trying to find the balance, trying to remain true to who you are, you know, having compassion, love for others. So it definitely is a fine line. And I do agree. As far as like men showing, you know, their sensitive side, for the lack of a better word, I feel like a lot of it has to do with it not having that safe space or having it be okay to just have that emotion. Because traditionally it's like the man is supposed to go out into the wilderness, kill the animal, come back and, you know, be like Tarzan, be the provider. And, you know, the woman is home and, you know, being the caretaker, the nurturer. So it's all about, you know, finding the balance, finding out what works for your household, and just kind of growing in that, but together and moving in that same direction. So it's always interesting.
Yes. Yeah, I'm a fan of the together part because it's like
Yeah.
I do, you know, I talk with my partner all the time. Like I don't know if any of you have chatted with like men about this, but my partner and I talk about this all the time where, you know, he of course is extremely supportive of like women's rights and empowering women and all these things. And at the same time, you know, he also has this feeling that like he's just lumped in this category of men doing wrong in a sense. So it's like he's almost attached like a bit of a almost like self-judgment piece of like, okay, yes, women's empowerment, but like just because I'm a man, does that mean like I'm just like not a good person? And I'm like, no.
Right.
You know, like I'm not a fan of feminism at the expense of anyone. Right. Whether it's men or women. And so for me, it's always about like, how do we uplift everybody, like women for sure, as well as like our whole society.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's enough division in the world. It's really time for us to come together and find ways to work together, because we all have something to contribute and add to it. Because, you know, we're not all perfect and we're not all strong in every one thing. And where I lack, you know, maybe Nicole can pick up, and together, you know, we make the world better and, you know, we take over. So it's just, you know, finding the compromise and being okay with certain things and just coming to a place of like understanding and just, this is my experience, but how can we work together?
For sure. Nicole, what do you think?
Well, about the Women's History Month.
Yeah, or anything.
Yeah.
Or about anything. Well, Women's History Month, I wrote something, just kind of a little blurb about teaching our daughters about famous women from history and how we can use them as role models. And I think, I mean, a lot of it does go back to traditional gender roles and like how, I don't know, women are expected to be at home and do all the caretaking and all those type of things. But my household is very much kind of like, we're like flipped backwards. Like my partner was a stay-at-home dad while I would go to work. Aww. And does all the cooking and the childcare until our daughter was like 3.5. So I guess we're like the backwards gender roles family.
Whatever works.
Yeah,
exactly.
it works for you.
So like my little daughter, she's 5. She's like, I want to build things like daddy because he's a plumber. She's like, I want to do construction and build things. And she like has her little blocks. And but then she wants to cook things. So it's like kids are very like malleable and they take like whatever they see as being normal. So like I think she thinks all dads stay home with their kids. So it's kind of cute.
That's sweet.
Yeah. And we purposely gave her like a non-gendered name too. Her name is River. So we figured that could kind of go either way. And we picked it before we knew if she was a boy or a girl, because we're very like, I don't know, gender neutral type of things. My daughter's partner is non-binary, so we have someone else in our house too. And so there's a lot of like definitely interesting conversations. Like when Fire, my daughter's partner, changed their pronouns, we like had to learn to roll with it. And so it's been a learning curve for us, but we're very like learning about it now and doing what we do. And it is what it is. But like I always try to be supportive, and like they're gonna get some surgeries done and stuff like that, and we just are like, okay, how's it going? How was your doctor visit? Is everything okay? Do you need anything?
That's amazing. That's beautiful. That's all you really you can do, is just support them in the way that they need, because it's not really about us, it's about them.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's kind of like what we did at the beginning. We're just like, what do you need us to do? What do you need from us? I know.
Mhm. That's amazing. That's
Cool,
like a
yeah.
parent every child wants.
Yeah, I
Truly,
think
it's
my
like
daughter
be
came out
supportive.
and like I was like she was like, "Mom, I have to tell you something." And we had just got her like new furniture before that. I was like worried she was going to tell me she didn't like her furniture. Um and she's like, "Mom, I'm bisexual and Fire's my girlfriend." I'm like, "Does Fire still live in Nebraska? That's unfortunate." Um I'm like, "Go wash your hands. We're going to eat dinner now." So, I don't know. We try to be very supportive and helpful and whatever. So,
Yeah, I mean, there's no handbook to it. I mean, I know there's books out there and that
yeah.
show you how to deal with different things, but you never really know until you're faced with it. It's like, okay, what
Mhm.
do I do?
For sure. Oh, well, that's great. So, anything else to share about Women's History Month?
Were you thinking of like writing prompts, like to brainstorm, or just
No, it's really just like taking that moment. I mean, I just feel like it's important as a publication supporting women to like acknowledge Women's History Month and International Women's Day. And it's so interesting because like for some background about me, I never really did a whole lot about like Women's History Month and International Women's Day. Like, traditionally before the pandemic, like I was on Facebook, so it'd be, the Facebook acknowledgement or like the social media acknowledgement. But otherwise, it was kind of like it came and it went. And I think now that I'm on Medium, I feel like Medium as a platform, at least for me, I love it because I feel like there's so much more depth. When you're writing, you get to like dig into it more. It's not like just one tweet or one like little Facebook post kind of thing. It's like you get to dive deeper. And so that was something that just felt important to me that we get to talk about these things that are really important. And yeah, so it's really just an acknowledgement of that.
Yeah.
But we can move forward and talk about spring. So we
Yeah.
thought it would be fun is just almost like a get to know each other / support each other for what's coming up. And so we just brainstormed a little fun question. I think this was Delia's question, right? That you came
Yeah.
up with. Yeah. What is something you want to spring into?
Yeah, and it could be anything really. Whether it's I don't know, like a hobby you saw, maybe a new skill you wanted to learn, or just whatever. I was just like, oh, what would you want to spring into?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
I
funny
guess,
because I didn't even think about this before.
oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead, Nicole.
Well, I'm getting ready in like the next month to spring into a whole new life in a new country. So that's the
Yes.
big thing for us. I need to learn to speak German more, would be the thing I need to spring into.
Cool. Well, what's
Mm.
one place? I mean, I don't know if you've done any like research as far as things to do in Germany, but I guess what would be one thing once you've learned the language that you would want to do or visit in Germany?
There's a lot of castles there. My boyfriend actually told me it's the country with the most castles in the world. So I want to go and visit a bunch of castles because it's awesome.
Oh,
I don't know. I've just always been
Yeah.
fascinated by castles. So I think that'll be fun.
Oh,
that's
please do. Okay,
cool.
if I can give you a suggestion, I spent a month in Germany, so I'm half
Oh,
German, so I
nice.
have like lots of family over there. And there's a castle. It's so that the Disney castle. It's what they modeled the Disney castle off of. So it's
Oh,
called.
yeah.
I'm gonna butcher the name, but it's like no.
Schloss
Oh God, I can't.
Neuschwanstein.
Yes,
Oh, wow. You
thank
said
you.
that so well.
No, I went
Like
to
I
that
can't
before.
even.
That's what I went to when I went to Germany the first time. So, yeah,
Amazing. So you know what I'm
you're
talking
right.
about. Yeah, there's
That's so
so many
cool.
cool castles there. Oh, I remember like I think I visited at least a dozen and amazing cathedrals too, like Cologne
Mhm.
or it's like Koln is like the German way of saying
Yeah,
it.
we went to that too.
Yeah.
It's right next to the train station. We were only there for about an hour, but we went and we walked through the whole
Oh, you
cathedral and
saw
like the
it.
catacombs and
Okay.
that. Yeah,
Oh,
it's awesome.
Nice.
amazing.
Well, great.
I
Now you
love
make me want to
Germany.
go to Germany now. I want to go see a castle.
It's fun. We went to all the Christmas markets there last time. So Christmas in Germany is
Mhm.
really fun.
Nice.
Well, that'll be
That's
something to look
interesting.
forward to in the winter.
Mhm.
You got a whole journey in front of
Hopefully.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, hopefully we have a somewhat normal winter. Let's see. Oh,
What about you,
how about
Sheboygan?
Well, I've sprung into a lot of things already. So I don't want to add anything to my list because I have like a running list that I started. But I'm looking forward to my trip next month. Fingers crossed everything goes well. I'm gonna go to Barcelona and Lisbon,
Nice.
and
Ah.
meet some friends there. So yeah, it's sorry, my Maximus thinks that's funny, but but yeah, so just looking forward to, like, I love planning and thinking about where to go, what to do, and it's going to be without kids by myself, so it'll be interesting.
Nice.
Wow. So you're on your own then, traveling there. Wow, that's a big deal. That's exciting though. It's like pure freedom to just do what you want.
Exactly.
Just explore. And you don't have to worry
Yeah.
about, oh, do you want to do this with me? No, you can just explore Lisbon to your heart's content.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'll actually be flying out to Lisbon at the end of this month too. I love it there. So good.
if you have any recommendations, let me know, but
Yeah, for sure. I mean, their old town is beautiful. They have like this gorgeous like castle on the hill. So yeah, it's a beautiful place. And I always felt like Barcelona, I've been there a few times. I always said to myself that if I ever have a midlife crisis, I need to just go fly to Barcelona. Like, I don't know why, but that just like thought popped in my head when I was in Barcelona. Just something about the city. Like, there's so much vibrancy to the
Mm.
city and like beautiful like art and culture and history and just it's amazing over there. So you're
and that's
really
what I
gonna
read up on, what are the cities that are safe to travel on your own,
mm,
as long as you're sensible, like common sense. And Barcelona is one, and there's so many blogs of women and, girl in Barcelona, and different blogs that were so inspiring. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. For
yeah,
you.
for sure. That's amazing.
And then I feel like it's also a good way just to get to know or remember who you were or rekindle, who you were. Because, you have that time and it's just, a reminder of things that you enjoyed, maybe things to reevaluate and incorporate. So it's cool. Good
Totally.
for you.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Delia, what about you? What are you springing into?
I mean, I feel like a lot has changed. Like I've sprung into like so many things. But I guess, hmm, just I don't know, there's just been so much, just more, I guess, just bringing more into like the whole writing atmosphere and like really just, um, I guess, being a little bit more specific with it. Cause I feel like up until now, I've just been free flowing and, oh, this is so nice, and just writing and very like airy about it. So now I'm just kind of like moving into the space of like, okay, like what's working, what's not, getting a little bit more critical about it, but still having the same fun. Because for me, it's still about maintaining the same balance. Because prior to COVID, I was very like work driven, and didn't really leave space for me to do other things and just kind of like enjoy life and smell a rose every now and again. So now it's just more so of like, okay, let's not get too obsessed about it, because when I originally started this, it was to have fun and I was enjoying it. It was giving me a space to be expressive and just be me. So let's not lose focus of that, but taking it a little bit more serious. So just finding the balance in that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I always felt when I was reading your pieces. It's just like fun is the word that always came to me. Of just you can tell through your writing, and I mean, you're that lovely, fun person. Like just your personality. Even only been on 2 calls with you, and I feel that from you, Delia. So
Thanks.
that's amazing. And I feel like if
Yeah.
you continue with that voice that you have anyway, and as you like get clearer on what topics you want to write about, it's going to be great. I think that's the best
Thanks.
part about the beginning days of Medium is that you get to experiment. There's no like right or wrong. Like I really enjoy that you don't have to, because I think some other platforms, it's like you got to submit your articles for approval. Someone's got to like
Yeah.
approve it. And I know that kind of happens with publications in a way, but whenever I'm like I guess for a behind the scenes as an editor for Modern Women, like I don't ever view editing articles as like, do I approve of this or not? You know,
Yeah.
actually in the history of Modern Women, I've only ever rejected one piece, and that was just a really unique situation where the piece just had like a more salesy tone to it. It just didn't quite feel like a fit. But I shared that with the writer, and otherwise, like it's, you know, I'm not looking at it as like I'm a gatekeeper by any means, because I'm not. It's sort of like if it's, as long as it makes sense within the realm of what we're speaking about, you know, that's it. But yeah, it's that weird pressure that I think some other platforms have, where it's like you gotta somehow appease somebody in order to get it published. Whereas Medium, you can just do what you want, say what you want, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think that also kind of comes down to like that whole niching idea, and you have to write for like a specific audience. So I feel like that's everyone just kind of wants to specify and have that unique factor to everything. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just kind of like how it comes across sometimes. And it's just like, well, I mean, life is an experience. Life is an experiment. It's an experience all on its own. I mean, I just look at it as one big lab. You just test things out like constantly, see what works, what doesn't work, and you just move in that direction. But
Yeah. I, you know, personally, like on the topic of like finding a niche, because it is so common that people talk about this, I feel like it creates a lot of pressure for us new writers. Like I had that in my, you know, I'm 3 months now on Medium. And so like my first month, I was like, oh my God, what am I even writing about? And then over time, it's almost like a theme emerged on its own, right? Like I didn't create it. I didn't try to pick through like, okay, what's my niche? And I wouldn't even call it a niche, just like a theme. Like a
yeah,
theme of things that I gravitate towards and topics that I enjoy writing about. And I feel like that's what happens just organically. So, you know, if you're having that pressure of, oh, I need to like specialize in a certain way, you know, I just encourage you, like, have fun with it, because along
Ask
the way,
Atlantis about
you'll
that,
discover
because
like which part of
that
it
seems like
that you
something she
most
would buy. I don't know. The tea kettle maybe is Kelly's. Sorry.
Oh, good.
I didn't mean to
I was like
interrupt you.
gonna,
I should put myself on mute.
no worries. I was gonna like mute you. Like, I don't know if she wants us hearing this right now. It's more about that. All good, Nicole.
yeah, no worries. In my mind, we're like Planet Fitness. There's no judgment here.
Yeah, that's a good way to
Judgment
put
free
it.
zone.
Yes, that is most
That's funny.
definitely, that's like the culture and the environment I want to create for the Modern Women
Yeah.
publication for sure. It's like, come as you are and we'll support you. Like that's what it's all
Yeah.
about.
But how long have
Yeah.
you ladies been writing? Nicole, I know you said you wrote 2 books, but how long, like, I guess, in its total?
I started, well, I mean, I started writing when I was probably like 8 years old, but like that wasn't, I started writing, published writing last April. So it's been almost a year. My first book was really short, so it's only like 50 pages long. So that's like the proviso of that. My second one, I think it was like 230 pages or something.
Nice.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I started it. I had read somewhere, I think it was on Pinterest, because I'm obsessed with Pinterest and I scroll through it, and it was like some article about how if you start a blog you can make lots of money, you know, all those articles, right? So I read that, and then I read like a bunch more, and it was like, if you start a blog, it's a good way to like prep yourself to write a book, because you get used to writing every day. So yeah, and when I first started, like I would write like a new article every day for my blog for the first 30 days. And then I was kind of like, okay, I'm going to drop down to like 2 or 3 times a week, because it's a lot. And especially because when you blog as opposed to being on Medium has like a built-in audience. So for my own platform, I have to do a lot more promoting. So the promoting, I would say, probably takes actually more time than writing.
Mm.
I'm probably like 80-20 split, because I have to do like all these Facebook posts and Twitter, Instagram. What else do I do? YouTube. I don't know. I feel
Wow,
like
you're
that's
on all the things.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm on all the things. I think I'm not on oh, what is it? Snapchat. I'm not on Snapchat. I
Oh
feel that's
yeah.
for like younger people. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm not on TikTok either. So those are the two
Mhm.
that I don't have. Um
Well, I hope you have someone helping you with all those platforms.
You need a
well,
manager.
my boyfriend edits my books.
Oh, that's pretty
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, so because he's a writer too. He hasn't published yet, but he's written like screenplays and stuff like that and part of a book. I'm trying to convince him he should go back to writing too, because he was actually talking about maybe like a year or two ago about doing a children's audiobook series.
Nice.
And yeah, so I'm trying to convince him he should be on Medium too. So we'll
Yes,
see.
go for it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Yeah,
I don't
if he
even know if
comes,
there's
I'll
a
be
space
like,
for that
this
on
is
there.
mine. You have to follow him. But
Yeah.
he's gonna have completely different topics than me. So which I think probably is good. He'll be more politics and I don't know, sex or something. I don't know, but we'll see.
Awesome.
It's cool.
Yeah.
He'll be the yin to your yang. It's cool.
Exactly. I don't know. Like I feel like I'm like starting a little bit to branch out my topics, kind of like what you were saying, Delia. And I like with Medium that you can do that because like with my blog, I write like mostly like parenting, mental health, and I've gone under the umbrella of like mom lifestyle because somebody told me that's what I should call it because it's like it's a bigger umbrella and basically everything I write for, I like mostly write geared towards moms. So it fits.
Cool. I
Nice.
like that. Mom lifestyle. I know a couple of moms that probably could benefit from the information that you are providing.
Right
Well,
here.
thank you.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Shavana, what about you? How long have you been writing?
Well, like Nicole said, I've always been journaling and, you know, like writing stuff from my teenagers. Being an academic, I do a lot of academic writing and publishing, you know, that like 3 people read, I think, you know, and it's so like field specific that
Right.
unless you're a researcher yourself or a practitioner somewhere, you're not going to read those. With Medium, I used to blog when I was living in Japan and Singapore and stuff like that, when I was an expat. But I started writing for Medium, I think, towards the end of January. So I'm really new.
Okay.
But I'm really liking more of like reading other people's work and engaging with the writers because I feel like, oh my God, you just stole my words. I don't even have to write this because you already wrote it and I can't say it any better. It's going to be a repeat, you know, but that so many similar life circumstances and events and it's amazing. I think
Yeah.
that's the part I'm enjoying. And I'm on sabbatical this semester. That's why I have all this time, you know. I have a
Nice.
book chapter I need to submit, but that can wait.
The work can wait.
I can enjoy myself a little.
Right? So,
Yeah.
but it'd be interesting to see how much I can keep up once I get back, but I'll try.
Yeah. You just take it one day at a time. And that's
For
it.
sure. And you're like absolutely that reader that writers love. It's like, yes, you're writing too, but it's like the fact that you're so thoughtful in your reading. Like I know that you've been reading my stuff and we have like these little dialogues in the comments. I love it. So that's like such to me, it's a fuel for writers. Like I love the comment section. Like I know some of the bigger writers, they're like, I don't even read the comments because I guess maybe they get more trolls and stuff like that. But I don't know, maybe it's because of who I gear towards, like, because I do write mainly for women that I enjoy it. Like I enjoy building those relationships in the comments, like, you know, for sure, like your names, all 3 of you of like, I know you in the sense of like on Medium, you know, and I love that. Like, I I don't want to just like ignore readership. I think it's so powerful.
Yeah.
It is. And I think when you talk about the voice, it's interesting how we try to find it, right? Like I started off with like some personal stories, but I'm like, oh my God, I have so much more to tell, So that's why with the coffee times, something about what's your go-to travel kit when you're traveling. I'm like, hey, I travel so much. Let me put that in. It's like fun stuff too,
Yeah.
So just to
Yeah.
change it up a little bit. So we'll see where it goes, but like you said, it's all open for experimentation. So
Yeah. It's
For
cool.
sure. Just having fun with it.
Yeah.
Delia, what about you? How long have you been writing?
I've always written in a journal. A fun fact, my husband and I kept a journal amongst the two of us, like when we were back in high school, because he was always in trouble. So I was like, well, this is how we're going to talk to each other. So we did that for a little while, and then the pandemic happened, and I just had so much to say about so many things. And I was just like, well, let me see, what I can actually, do with this, because I was just like at that crossroads where I needed to figure it out. And then I did, and I was talking to somebody, and I was just like, oh, where's a good place to get feedback to find out if what I'm saying anybody truly really cares about besides me. And they were like, Medium. So I got on Medium, I think it was like August or July of last year, but I wasn't really active on it. I was just like the ghost of it. I would post stuff. I didn't really like look into it. I was just like, let me just get the hang of just writing and posting and sharing and just get comfortable with that idea. And then November of 2021, I was like, okay, let me, put a little bit more gas on it and see where this can really go. And Megan was one of the first people I met once I joined the partnership program. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And I got excited. And here we are.
Yeah. Delia's been like our amazing like ideas person. Like she came to me, she was like the very first person that because I always when I add writers to Modern Women, I always say like if you want to chat about anything or have like questions or whatever, like let me know. And Delia was the first person that took me up on that. She's like, yeah, I want to chat. How do we chat? And I was like, oh, great question. How do we chat? So we like added each other on WhatsApp and we were messaging and she was sharing all these ideas of like what we could do with Modern Women. And I love that Delia brought the mixer idea. I think it's fantastic and I'm sure it will grow over
Yeah.
time. So yeah, just a way to like support each other in this whole journey and get to know each other too behind the scenes. So
Yeah.
that's so awesome.
Yeah. Community is
Yeah.
important. I feel like there was, what is it, 2018, maybe 19. That's kind of like where the sense of community kind of like really hit home for me. And I felt like it was lacking in more than one way, not just in like my own community, just in different spaces that I was in. So I guess like innately, I was just like trying to figure out the best way to cultivate some kind of community. And then like it just came back and I was like, oh, why not? Like Medium is already a community. That's one of the first things like I fell in love with, because it didn't feel like anybody on there was putting on a show or, pretending. It was just real stuff happening to real people or just real creativity. And I just like, well, if you like something, you nurture it, you let it grow. And I just fell into it, or maybe it fell into me. But I was like, yeah, if you don't make your way in the world, no one else is going to make it for you.
It's a great, great way to put it. Well, and I'll answer the question too of like how long have I been writing? And for me, it's kind of like writing's always been in the periphery. I'm a coach, and so as part of my coaching practice, like I always just enjoyed the writing side of things, like even as simple as like copywriting for my own website or just different business things that I've done. And that was really kind of the extent of it, was just, like website copywriting. And then when I was pregnant, this was like over 3 years ago now, I had this like crazy burst of energy in my second trimester. Like I went buck wild. Like I just did so much stuff. Like I built a new business, like created this like mini community of women, just, like so many things that I did. And one of those things was that I wrote about my pregnancy journey and just like different stories. And I got such inspiration for it that it actually turned into a book. It was
Nice.
like, yeah, it was like 200 something pages. But the funny part is that it didn't really go anywhere. And part of it, it was like slightly controversial because my partner's always had a bit of a challenge with my writing in the sense that like he's never written my work or sorry, read my work. And he's a very, very, very private person. And so it's really hard for him. So if I'm ever like writing about him, like it was like a big contentious point for us. Because he was like he was a part of my story, right? And so it's a tricky one to walk like that tightrope. But ultimately, like, yes, there was a function of like it was causing a lot of strife between us, like just to have the book out there. But the other aspect is once I actually had my baby, I felt so different after. Like I went through a bout of postpartum depression and just my whole world changed like drastically. That when I went back to the book, I almost didn't feel like it was me anymore in an odd way. Like it was almost like a different time and place and person.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe one day I'll like resurrect that project and do
Yeah.
something with it. But for the time being, it's shelved. It's like my mom has like one copy and that's it. Like the one printed copy and then otherwise that's it. And so I parked it for a long time and then came to Medium in December where, I restarted my coaching practice and I really just wanted to use it as a way to connect with others. And Medium has been so perfect for that. Like it's definitely been exactly what I was hoping for, of just finding community and growing that with people.
Yeah. Or maybe this just came to my mind. Or maybe you can find a way to repurpose it and maybe gear it towards, because I know from like some of the conversations that I see like online, there's a big thing where women feel like, oh yeah, everyone talks about, the journey to getting pregnant, but they never really talk about, what happens after, the pregnancy, like the postpartum depression or, the postpartum hair loss and, different things that your body goes through. So maybe you can tailor it to that, like what to expect after the baby and just, maybe give tips to just, make that transition a little easier. So it's like, no one feels like, oh, why didn't anybody ever tell me? Because I feel like that's a lot. They're like, no one says this. They're just like, yeah, have the baby. But they don't tell you what to expect after the babies come. So that could be another take on it.
So that's a good idea. Where I always say you need to write a book like what my mom didn't tell me. But Megan, I think with you, I was thinking as you were talking, how you said you don't think you're that person anymore, like there's been, and I think that happens to all of us, right? We evolve as people as we go. Perhaps you could just pretty much take a part 2 stab on that to revisit part 1 and how you've changed, like to show the transformation.
The before after.
Yeah. Oh, like look at yourself from the outside of what you wrote in part 1 to say, what is it that you agree with, that, oh, that's different, but you're the same person. It's just that you've changed from within. I don't know, just
because I feel like that concept is really needed. And I feel like a lot of women can benefit from that.
Yeah. Or even like a part 1 and a part 2. I mean, you could leave it because it was true for you at the time, right?
Yes.
So if you like just do this is me now after, and then you could do them like as a set or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that was the original idea actually, was that I was going to do like a book every year. So it was like,
wow,
this is
cool.
my pregnant. Yeah, I know. I was like really ambitious when I was pregnant. I was like, yeah, I'm going to turn this into a series like before it even happened. And then I had my baby. I was like, I don't have time to write a thing. And I also just like really wasn't in that space to feel right to do it. But yeah, who knows? Like, I don't know if I'll manage like going back in time to do it year by year, but I could do it like in the sense of, I'm past the baby phase. My daughter's a toddler now. So yeah, it's definitely one of those things that I want to revisit at some point. Like there's almost some like emotion to it in an odd way. Cause it's, I haven't read it. Like it's on my list to read and I've been resisting somehow, some way. So I'm kind of like, okay, instead of force myself, I'm just going to wait till that day that I feel ready.
Yeah.
Cause I think it will bring up some stuff for me of just, it'll just show me like that before and after in a way. And so Yeah, I don't know. One day.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
Whenever
Yeah.
you're ready to.
Yeah, one day I'll get
Force
there.
it, but you have to be ready.
Yeah.
You know what? This has been great. I'm so sorry I have to jump off because I need
That's
to go to a
okay.
play. So I need to shower quickly and do that.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy your play.
Have
Cool
fun.
play, but I just want to support the community. But thank you for doing this, and next time I'll stay the whole time. Sorry, I have to jump off. But
No
it's great.
problem
It's
at
fine. We only go for like
Thank you
about
for
an hour
coming.
anyway, so this was amazing. Thanks for coming along. And what play are you gonna go see?
Good question. Something about horrors. Let me tell you. Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, that's a
I haven't watched
classic.
it. I wanted to Google and at least get a background before I went, and I haven't had a chance. So maybe
You'll
I'll.
enjoy it. It's fun. It's good.
Okay. Well, thank you, ladies. Have a great Sunday, and I'll
Yeah,
see you
take
at the next
care.
mixer. Okay.
Bye. Have a good
Bye.
day.
Bye. Yay.
Cool.
Well, that's so nice. I mean, in our last like 10 minutes or so, and we don't have to like take it all the way up to the hour, but why don't we chat about we've talked about quite a bit of it already, like how's it going on Medium? And I think like the main question I would just love to know for each of us is like, is there anything that you are curious about or want support on, or even just want to share like where you want to go next with Medium?
I don't know. Nicole, where do you want to go next with Medium?
Me? Well, I guess I'm just branching out in different directions. And so I just like a couple days ago started a new series about music and music that has like shaped different experience of my life. So I kind of want to see where that goes. I published the one with Modern Women about So I Fell in Love with a Musician. And talking about my boyfriend that's like sitting over there somewhere. I need to show that to him. He hasn't read it yet, but he told me I could write about him, so it's okay. So I want to kind of see where that goes, because I'm just taking like because where it came from is like when I first started writing, like I guess in middle school or whatever, like as things that were, I started with poetry. So, and my 8th grade English teacher, he was like, poetry is it's like the lyrics of music. And so he had us look at song lyrics of poetry. And I have an article about that too. You can read it later if you want. But so, I mean, that's kind of where it came from. And I was just like, these are all the songs that are like these light bulb moments in my life and whatever. So I'm just going to see where that goes.
Very cool.
By the way, Joanna, hello.
Hi,
Hi.
Joanna.
Hello,
I'm sorry,
Joanna.
it was the time difference. It was totally my fault that I.
No. So I thought, here I was almost getting ready because I felt, oh, it's 10 minutes. Let me grab my computer or just brush my hair.
Well, you look great.
Oh, it's been on for almost an hour. Oops, gotta go. So I look
Okay.
this because actually I was sleeping. Monday after lunch, okay. Iberian Peninsula, we do that.
Very nice.
So,
Like siesta. I don't know what it is in Portuguese for
it's
siesta.
very similar to Spanish. It's not siesta, but it's sexta.
Okay. Very nice.
At least I believe it's very similar. But anyway, the languages, they say no one understands Portuguese. So sorry, ladies, for just popping in.
No, thanks for joining us. This is
Joanna,
cool.
we've got Delia here, Nicole, myself, Megan. I know Joanna because she joined, I do a women's circle as well. That's every other Wednesday. So Joanna joined the last women's
Sweet.
circle. Yeah. From
Nice.
Portugal.
Very cool. I love meeting people from all parts of the world. It's great.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of going digital. The one thing.
For sure. I know you meet people that you would normally probably never meet.
Yeah.
In real life. So it's super cool. I feel like it also makes it easier to find like-minded people too. Because if you're in real life and you're meeting different people, you have no idea if they share even remotely the same interests. And it's like by the time you have enough conversations to find out if they do, it's like really tough. Whereas online, you already have like a way of filtering like who are your people,
Yeah.
the communities
that's
that you
cool.
join and everything.
So Joanna, how long have you been writing on Medium? What's been your Medium experience so far?
Well, honestly, since 2017, but I had an old account. I used to write there because I figured what is this platform? Well, I can write there and there's other people can read. I had no idea, first of all, that you could make money out of it. So I wrote, then I forgot that I had an account and I just let the story stay there for, sinking in. And then like 2 years later, I went back again and I had so many comments and views, like 6K, what is this?
Wow.
I don't know what this is, but I just had 30 followers. I was not even making any money because I had many views, but no money. And I thought, well, actually, I can make money out of this. Then I started reading the stories and they were so bad. I don't even know how people could read that. Because I really didn't make any effort when I wrote. I just wrote like if it was a journal or something like that. All right. Then there was a lot of misspellings because English is not my native language. And I felt, no, I'm just going to delete these stories with 6K view. Now I would just edit. No, let me delete all of this. And I'm going to create a new account. And that's what I did last April. But I just started, really writing this year in January. Just, okay, let me try this. And now I'm trying to write every day. Not today, because today I'm really sleepy.
Sunday.
Yeah.
So, there's days when you need to rest.
Yes.
I felt like this weekend, I really needed my sleep. Okay, Megan, you saw me last time. I said I was a lot of stressed, okay, and I was really tired. So I just slept yesterday and today, and it's finally raining, which is in Portugal a huge thing because we have not seen rain for, I don't know, 5 months or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, climate change is real.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And in Spain and in Portugal, it was terrible. We were trying to save as much water as possible, like really having baths, putting the water from the shower in the toilet, all those kind of things. Trying to really save. No, really, really. Also because, as you can imagine, water, it gets more expensive. Also, I care for the environment. That's not just for the money, but also that. So finally, it has been raining for a week, and I'm so happy.
Yeah, I would be
Stop
too.
now. Rain, like, here, come, please. More. We need it. So I'm way more relaxed now. Okay, because of the weather and because I can sleep finally.
Yes.
Anyway, but Delia, how can I call you?
It's Delia.
Delia.
Yeah.
Hey, Nicole, where are you from?
I'm from Colorado in the United States.
Yes.
Very cool. I'm originally from the Bronx, but I recently moved to South Jersey.
Okay. I found it very interesting as someone from Portugal that you always say the state and not the country. You always say the state first. It's like I know where Colorado is and I know where the Bronx is, New York. Like, all later you say, the United States. Just a perspective from an outsider.
No, but that's cool. You don't know what you say until someone else brings it out. So that was a good point. And then also Megan and Nicole, you guys kept mentioning that, you had asked, your husbands what they thought of, or boyfriends, what they thought about your writing. And I was like, gee, I never asked my husband how he felt about me writing about him. I just wrote. I'm like, maybe I should go back and be like, sorry, babe, are you okay with me writing about you? So thanks for putting that into perspective for me.
Yeah, I guess I asked him because of like copyright infringement or whatever, like because when I was doing one of my books, he actually told me that I should like ask anybody that I was going to put a picture of them if I to do a photo credit, like to make sure it was
Mhm.
okay to put their picture in my book. And since he told me that, I was like, okay, well, can I write about you? I even asked like my daughter and like my best friend and whoever. So anyone that I put their picture in my book, I did get permission before I did that. So
Yeah. It's such an
Yeah.
interesting one when you're writing about others. That's why sometimes people they'll like rename the
Mhm.
person or that sort of
yeah,
thing. But it's so interesting when it because you're talking about your partner, I mean it even if you don't ever say their name, people can get that, there's a
Yeah.
mhm,
connection there, right? Like you can't really make that up.
yeah,
So yeah, it's an interesting one. I
mhm,
mean, these days I just like
yeah,
focus not really writing on us. Like it's been sparingly that I've done it on Medium.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Good for
I guess like the only reason I hadn't thought about it before that either, I wrote an article for another platform. It's called Elephant Journal. And
Mhm.
I kind of stopped writing there because they claim copyright over your articles after you write them, which is why I started writing on Medium instead, is because you get to keep your own copyright. Um,
Mm.
and like I had gotten an article rejected because I was talking about domestic violence and they said it was too easy to guess who the person was from the description. And so they rejected my article. So after that, like
Wow.
I started thinking about it a lot more. And so like certain people, like if I write about them, I never say their name. I'm just like my ex, or
Generalize,
because I mean my
yeah.
ex could be anybody. I've dated like
Yeah.
more than one person in my life, but
Yeah, for sure. I know it's such an
Yeah.
interesting one. Mm.
Thanks for the info. That's
yeah.
something definitely to be mindful of.
Yeah, I would have never thought about that until that girl was like, oh yeah, you could have a lawsuit against you for libel and slander, and this is a small publication. We don't want that. I was like, first I'm like, you're censoring me. I'm so mad. And then I kind of like took a step back and I told my boyfriend and he's like, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's my one that's always more calm than I am. So like I talk to him about a lot of stuff. So you're the calm person in my life. Did you just find money?
That's so cute.
Ooh, gold
Oh.
coins.
Well, I know we're at the top of the hour, but Joanna, I also know that you just joined us. So maybe before we leave off, I mean, Joanna, do you want to share? Like, do you have anything you're curious about with Medium or anywhere you want support with your writing journey?
Oh, yeah, I've been reading, you know how media is. There's so many articles about how to make money here or how you should. Sometimes it's even hard. Okay, which of these should I be reading? Because there's
Mhm.
so many. And then there's those things that honestly I just don't believe it. Honestly, I feel like it's clickbait so you can read
Mhm.
them about their success. I even wonder, is their success real? Does is it really? I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel, because the algorithm just, if you read one of those, then another one shows up. I'm done. I'm done with reading these articles. I
Yeah.
really want to read life stories, and that's what I'm searching for right now, because I am tired of people just, oh, I made $1,000 this month on me. I feel like, yeah, good for you. Shut up.
I know it does. It draws people in. And I was similar too. Like I got sucked in my first month. And then now I'll read like the very occasional one. But my feed is
Mhm.
totally different now that I've stopped reading those. Like it is, like you say, mostly life stories, life lessons, like just really interesting human pieces.
Yeah.
Like
What
the
I'm
money
searching
stuff.
for.
Yeah, for sure. And that's part of like with modern women. I never explicitly said it, but I didn't really want like the writing stuff on there. Do you know what I mean? Like there's like the occasional, like someone's shared about like writing, but just more generalistic or like supporting others. So that's totally fine. But like the clickbaity, like I made 1,000 a month, blah, 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 blah. Like we haven't really had anyone submit it to us because probably they would realize it doesn't quite fit with our
Mhm.
publication. But that was one thing where I was like, oh God, if we open up the door to like writing articles, the entire publication is just gonna be about writing.
Yeah. That is true. It'll just be swarmed and it's like, no, what happened to my baby? This is not where we started. This is not where
Yeah.
we're supposed to go. And
But you
like, how do
kind of
you reel
accept
back?
it, don't you? you somehow also feel tempted. Maybe I should write something like that as well, because
Mhm.
apparently that's what will also give you money. Actually, it isn't. I've wrote one or other article, actually wrote one, honestly, just to help out people. If you want to
Mhm.
check it out.
Yes.
I know how to put titles, subtitles, kickers. I had no idea that if you click on the oh, I forgot how to say
The
this.
T.
No, the magnifying glass,
Oh
that you
yeah, the search.
the images will appear.
Yeah.
Delia, if you don't know what I'm talking about, check it out.
Yeah, you press the
will.
search one, the
I
little
was
yeah.
because I was going to the sites, downloading the files and the image, whatever, blah, blah, and then putting on Meet and then write. Then when I figured out it was so much simpler, I could just click on the magnifying glass. See, you don't know.
I
Write what? So click on that thing. Write whatever you want to write. To the picture, help, love, whatever. Then the images will show up. You just click, and then it's automatically there. It saves you
wow.
time. Yeah. So my article is about that. How these things, these things I also didn't know how to figure it out. So I wrote that, but it's not. It's a long article, but it's not the one that got most views. It's not. Okay. So I felt like, maybe this. It's not. It's
But it's useful information.
yeah, it is. But just telling you that I did that and I wrote another one. I felt like maybe, well, I don't know. Let's see, because I wrote it like 2 weeks ago, I think. But other articles that I thought, honestly, I'm just putting out this information. One was actually about a guy I saw on Medium, which he wrote, who you should date. So an article to men. What kind of women you should be dating. And I read that and I wanted to slap him. This is just so bad, so sexist. It's just so conservative, so bad. But it had tons of views and so many comments of men saying, thanks, man. That's really helpful. Now,
Oh my goodness.
and in one of those, they said, careful with a woman with a high body count. And people like, high body count. Don't date, the worst, don't date a woman who has had sex with lots of men, because she will eventually cheat on you. So I wrote an article kind of in response to him, and that's the article I got most views so far, because I was so pissed.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
I was so pissed. I even comment on that article and I said, okay, maybe I'm going to write an article and I'm not going to give this guy more credit, literally, because I'm reading his stuff. I'm so pissed about him. And apparently other women also saw that. And when they read my article, they say, yeah, I know him, he's a jackass. No, but like really,
awesome.
really bad. Almost like date a woman who cooks, stay shut up, only has had sex with you, and pretty much that was it.
Oh God.
Oh wow. All the standards for us, but none for them. Because it's like, okay, you want all of this. What are you bringing to the table, sir?
He was like 20. It's like a kid.
Oh,
20.
Never mind. He's still hormonal, so that doesn't really count.
Yeah, we wouldn't date him anyway. He's too
Yeah.
young. Or too young for me. Like I could be like, I have a daughter that's 19. I can't date a guy that's 20. That's like creepy.
With those comments, I wouldn't, even if I were single, I'll pass.
But you know what I'm really afraid is exactly he's a kid and he has this kind of view.
Yeah.
Others, same age, were the ones commenting on his article. And they were also 18 or 20, 25, whatever. And they were saying this is great advice. And I felt like, wow, what is happening with the world? We are all backwards. You know, I would never thought this would be the evolution.
Yeah.
That people that are so young were born in the 2000s. What the hell?
Yeah.
Now and they are giving this advice, thinking, "Oh, I'm a man now, I'm 20."
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Oh,
I
well,
guess you
good for
can.
you for responding to that. I
Yeah.
gotta go check it out. I want
I
to
have
see.
to
Yeah, me too. I'm like,
But-
okay, I need to read this.
to
Right when we get off, that's where my first stop is going to be. I need to read what's happening.
Aw.
So sorry for just arriving at the end. Megan, if you check your WhatsApp,
Oh yeah, you saw my message.
you
Yeah.
have a message of me saying, "Oh no, I just."
Yeah, I saw that. And I also just got a message from Erin too. So Erin's the co-editor for Modern Women, and she said that the time difference, she got it mixed up too. So I imagine it happened for
don't
some people.
understand this stuff. So in the United States, time has changed already.
Yeah,
And
but
not
then
Yeah,
for
it
us,
changed
it's like
today.
a couple
Yeah.
weeks or something
Uh,
in Europe. I know.
I
So
have to,
weird.
because I also work with some, so I'm a teacher online. I also have some students from the United States. Maybe tomorrow it's going to be funny because I have
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all gonna be
probably
late.
will show up later. Okay, actually, or sooner, not later.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what it is
sooner,
for sure.
earlier.
Yeah.
I have to text them.
Aw.
Okay.
Well, ladies,
Sorry for just arriving now. I missed the whole thing.
don't worry at
No,
all.
well,
We're
there's
gonna
a
do these
replay.
yeah, exactly. And we're gonna do these monthly just to get
Yeah.
together with other writers. So join whenever you can and when you want to. But thank you. Thank you for
Yeah, thanks for
spending part of
coming.
your Sunday.
you.
And Delia, thanks again for putting it all together with
Yeah,
the
no
Zoom
problem.
link
We're in
and
this
everything.
together.
So, yeah. Any last comments before we leave off? No, just have a
No,
great
just
Sunday
have-
then,
yeah,
and
have
then
a
we
great
will
Sunday.
see you guys on Medium.
Yeah.
Your different articles.
Yeah.
All right.
Enjoy
Take
the
care,
spring and enjoy your
everyone.
day.
Yes.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys.
Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao.